Today we're going to be making chicken halves on the Weber Searwood 600. And in my opinion, skin on chicken is the best thing that comes off of a pellet grill. Weber is a sponsor of this video. I'm Johnny, you're watching A View to a Grill, and the first thing we're going to need is a rub. For our rub, we'll need 2 tablespoons of sea salt, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of lemon pepper, 1 teaspoon of granulated onion, 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic, 1 teaspoon of tarragon, 1 teaspoon of parsley, and 1 teaspoon of rosemary. I'm going to get started by putting in all of our spices. And then when it comes for the rosemary, I like to put it in the palm of my hand and kind of crush it up with my fingers before adding it to the rub. And then I'll just eyeball the parsley and the tarragon. Now we'll give it a shake, and when I was done, I had a rub that looked like this. Now that we're done making our rub, let's go ahead and prepare the chicken. I've gotten to where I like to buy the Simple Truth organic chicken from Kroger. I really like the fact that it's not injected with any extra brine and that it's free range. Now let me show you what I mean by no extra brine. When I open up this package and pull the chicken out, you don't see all that slimy juice just dripping everywhere. I actually like that, knowing that there's nothing extra in the chicken that's not supposed to be there. Now I like to start off by removing the wing tips, but if you want to leave your wing tips on, then leave them on. When I'm smoking my chicken halves, I like the breast to be boneless. So I'm going to find the center of the breast and cut right along that keel bone. Now I'll continue using my sharp knife to just start following the breastbone all the way down as close as I can to the bone. I'll also follow along the wishbone and keep cutting until I separate the wing, and then to help separate the thigh, I'll just pop it loose from its socket. Now I can cut right through the joint where I popped it loose. And then when you're done with that, go ahead and do the other side the exact same way. And there you go. I have 2 chicken halves with boneless breasts that still maintain the chicken half presentation. Another thing I like to do for the dark meat is to score an X on the thigh and the drumstick. And then here's what that actually looks like. And now I can do the other thigh and drumstick as well. When seasoning the chicken halves, I like to start off on the flesh side. We'll get that moderately covered in the rub we made. And then here's what that looks like. Now we can get our chicken flipped over, and the first thing I like to season on the skin side are the wing pits and leg pits. Once you're finished with that, go ahead and position the wings and dark meat just the way you want them. And then here's what that looks like, a nice oval shape, and all the meat is perky. Now we can season the skin side, and one of the things that I like about seasoning on this rack is that you can handle the rack and not the chicken. Just kind of move it around and make sure you get all the edges. As you can see, all the edges are well seasoned, as well as the top of the chicken. I'm not ready to cook yet, so we'll get this chicken into the refrigerator until it's time to cook. Now it's a few hours later, and it's time to cook our chicken halves. I'll go ahead and remove these out of the refrigerator while we start up the Weber Searwood 600. And the first thing I like to do to this chicken is spray it with a little bit of olive oil. I'll just leave it on the rack, spray and spin the rack around until I've sprayed all sides of the chicken halves. Now we can get our Weber Searwood started up, and I'm going to set the temperature to 375 degrees. We're also going to see how long it takes for the Weber Searwood to come up to temperature. So at the 10-minute mark, we were up to 350 degrees, and then it took only a little less than 13 minutes to get up to 375 degrees. So that is a pretty quick heat up time. Now that we've reached our target temperature, let's get the chicken halves on the bottom shelf of the Weber Searwood 600. It is 6:05. Now 25 minutes later, 6:30, let's go ahead and check on our chicken. So for this first check, we're just over 100 degrees. So I'll just get the lid closed and we'll check this again in about 15 minutes. 15 minutes later, 6:45. Let's go ahead, check our chicken again. We'll just see what the temperature is, and this time we're in the mid 130s. Since we're pretty close to being finished, let's go ahead and rotate our chicken. We'll give these another 10 to 15 minutes. All right, we're about 13 minutes later. Let's go ahead and check our chicken again. So you can see here that we're pretty close to that 165-degree mark. So I'm going to go ahead and give these literally 3 more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and remove our chicken. And then 3 minutes later, it is time to check our results. And then check out this chicken, beautiful. We were able to maintain the shape of the chicken by handling the rack and not the chicken, and the presentation is gorgeous. And let me give you a good look at this chicken. Check out this chicken half. These are so easy to cook, and they come off the pellet grill so delicious. If you haven't tried to cook a chicken half on your pellet grill yet, you need to do that on your next cook. Okay, now let's take a look at the white meat of the chicken half. We can go ahead and cut a few of these slices off right in the middle, right where we want to be, and take a look at this. This chicken is extremely juicy and moist. You don't need all that extra brine that they're putting in some of these chickens these days if you hit your temperatures. We can now give this a try, and yeah, this thing is just outstanding. And now here's that wing. Look at that thing. Beautiful color, juicy, and of course it's delicious as well. And then here's a little bit of that thigh meat, juicy, delicious, just insane. And then take a look at the mess on this cutting board. That's how much juice was in this chicken. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to A View to a Grill, you might want to do that and go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.